Many Excel users know Ctrl and Enter allows you to enter the same thing into a group of cells, saving you having to copy and paste. And it's great for this. But that's only the beginning. In this video, I'll show you 7 clever ways to use Ctrl+Enter to get repetitive Excel jobs done in seconds. You can download the free practice file from the description to follow along, and let's get started. This is a list of customer orders. Some are open, some are on hold, and some are paid. Now, Tom Beckett has left the company and Mia Jones is taking over his open orders in the West region. Let's turn on the filters so we can filter the regions for West and where the status is open. We have 5 open orders and they're all Tom's. Now, if I select the cells in the owner column and type over them, I'll also type over the cells hidden by the filter. We can see the hidden cells are also selected because there's a solid green line beside the row labels. Instead, I'm going to press Alt and semicolon to select just the visible cells in the range. And now the green line beside each of the row labels has gaps where the hidden cells are. Now I can type in Mia Jones, followed by Ctrl and Enter. And now when I clear the filters, the rows that were hidden are unchanged. Here's a quarterly sales report, nicely formatted with banded rows, and notice the total column is empty. Most of us will write the first formula equals sum, and then double click the fill handle to copy it down. But it copies the whole cell, the formatting included. So cell H7's white background has been painted over all 11 rows. Let's Ctrl+Z to undo that. And before anyone tells me in the comments, yes, you can right click the pull handle and drag down and then choose fill without formatting. And that does work, but you have to remember to click it every single time and you have to notice that you needed to. So let's Ctrl+Z to undo that and look at the Ctrl+Enter way. First, I'll select the cells, then type the formula, close parentheses on sum, and then Ctrl+Enter. Every cell gets the formula and the references shift down properly, row by row, and the formatting retains intact. But let's Ctrl+Z to undo that and look at the third way. Again, with the cells selected, all I need to do is press Alt equals, and Excel writes the formula for you in each cell. Now this works because the formula is summing the columns on each row, but not all formulas are a simple sum. So use Ctrl+Enter when your formula is more than just a sum of the columns, and Alt equals for simple sums. This is one of my favorites. This report looks tidy enough, but the region and category only appear on the first row of each block, and everything underneath is empty. Try to build a pivot table from that and it will fall apart, because as far as Excel is concerned, most of these rows have no region at all, and filling them by hand is tedious. Instead, select the 2 columns and then Ctrl+G for the Go To dialog box, click on Special and choose Blanks and click OK. Excel's picked out the empty cells and left the filled ones alone. Now don't click anywhere on the sheet now or you'll lose that selection. Notice cell D8 is slightly lighter than the others. That's the active cell. We can also see it in the name box. Now we want D8 to take whatever's in the cell directly above it. So type equals and then up arrow. You can see in the formula bar it's referencing cell D7. Now press Ctrl+Enter. And because the reference is relative, Excel adjusts it for every selected blank. The blanks in column C look at the cell above them, and likewise for the blanks in column D, looking at the category above them. Now there's one more step to finish it properly. Right now, they're formulas pointing to the row above. If someone sorts or rearranges the report later, those references could return the wrong labels. So select the 2 columns again, Ctrl+C to copy and Ctrl+Shift+V to paste. And now you have values in every cell and you're safe to sort and rearrange it as required. That same Go To special trick is also handy for missing formulas. Here we've got a sales table where net sales should be units times unit price less the discount. Now 4 of the formulas have been deleted at some point and we need to re-enter them. Now you could fill the whole column down and be done with it, but that replaces every formula in the column. In the real world, some of those rows might have a deliberate exception somebody put there on purpose, albeit I don't recommend this, but some Excel users are a law unto themselves. So that we don't mess with the existing formulas, I'm going to select all the cells, Ctrl+G, Special, Blanks. Now only the 4 empty cells are selected. The first one is G7, and that's the active cell. So that's where I'm going to write the formula equals units times unit price times 1 minus the discount. Close parentheses and Ctrl+Enter. Now if we look at the repaired cells, you'll see the references have moved along with them. And every formula that was already there is completely untouched. This is the difference between knowing a list of Excel commands and knowing how to put them together. Go to special on its own is useful, but it's when you start pairing it with something like Ctrl+Enter that you stop doing things one row at a time. That's what my Excel Expert course is built around. Not just what each tool does, but when to reach for it and what to combine it with. There's a practice file for every lesson, so you're doing it rather than just watching me do it. And you can ask me questions directly and get support when you need it. The link's in the description and pinned comment. Sometimes the cells you want aren't in a neat block, and filtering would take longer than simply picking them out. Here's a list of expense claims. The 4 finance claims have now been approved, but they're scattered throughout the report. I could hold Control and select each one, but if I accidentally let go of Control, I've deselected everything. Windows users have another option. Press Shift F8 and Excel switches into Add or Remove selection mode. You'll see it in the bottom left corner of the window. Now on a Mac, you may need to press Function Shift F8 depending on how your function keys are set up, but Command and click is usually the simplest option. Now, in Add or Remove selection mode, I can click the cells that I need without holding anything down. And clicking it a second time removes the selection. So now that I have my cells selected, I can type in Approved, Ctrl+Enter, and all 4 update at once. To exit out of Add or Remove selection mode, on Windows you can press Shift F8 again, or just Escape to exit. I love this method when you've only got a handful of cells to select. If there are dozens, filter the list and select visible cells with Alt:/, like we did at the start. Now one more step is to enter the approved date. So I'm going to right click, filter by selected cells value. Now we've got our finance items. I'll select the date column, Alt:/ to select the visible cells, Control:/ to enter today's date, and Ctrl+Enter to enter it in all 4 cells. This sequence of shortcuts must have saved me hours over the years. Here I have 3 forecast scenarios laid out exactly the same on each sheet, and the forecast sales column is empty on all 3. Click on the tab for 6 base, hold down Shift, and click on the tab for 6 downside. Look in the title bar. It now says Group, and you can see the 3 sheet tabs are white. Now still on the base sheet, I'm going to select the column of cells, and then type in my formula, which is the current sales times 1 plus the forecasted growth, and then Ctrl+Enter. Now right-click one of the sheet tabs and ungroup the sheets. And let's have a look at upside. The formula's there, and likewise for downside. All 3 done, and I only type the formula once. Now a word of warning. Group sheets are dangerous if you forget about them, because while they're grouped, everything you do is replicated in every sheet. Typing, deleting, formatting, all of it. So get into the habit, glance at the title bar, and ungroup the second you're done. Last one, and it's the smallest. I need to put a discount against the course seat. The discount is 12.5%, so I enter 0.125. Press Enter, and it moves down to the next row. But my next job is to format that cell as a percentage, so now I've got to go back up to it and then format it. Let's Ctrl+Z and do that again. Instead, after typing the value, press Ctrl+Enter. The value's been entered and I haven't moved. I can format it as a percentage, bold it, color it, add a note, check the formula bar, all without going back. It only saves you 1 keystroke, which sounds like nothing, until you've done it 100 times in a morning. We've covered a lot, so I've put together a quick reference guide along with some related shortcuts that you can print out, which you'll find in the free download file linked in the video description. Ctrl+Enter is useful on its own, but the real-time savings come from combining it with the right selection method. Once you know how to target exactly the cells you need, you can stop working through them one at a time. And Ctrl+Enter isn't the only overlooked Excel tool that can save you time. In this video, I'll show you 5 more tools that most users rarely think to use. There's a free practice file to follow along in that one too, so click through and I'll see you there.